Ladies and gentlemen, I am OmnusI here before you for another RPGaDay episode. Today is the 11th day of August, which means it is time for the 11th subject. The subject for today is stack. Interesting. But I am prepared for this. So, what I would like to show you is a stack. This is a stack of role-playing game books by a game manufacturer that is gone. They are apparently no longer with us. The last tweet the company sent out was in 2012, and I hear that their website is down. The product is still being sold on DriveThruRPG, however, and as of last I checked, it was at half price, so. This game is called Alpha Omega, and it was created by a company called Mindstorm Labs. They put out two core books, the Alpha Omega core book, and this book called The Encountered, which was basically their monster manual. And the quality of these books is absolutely gorgeous. They also created one thing I do not have, which is a module called Milk Run. I don't have that. But considering the PDF is $5, if I ever get the urge to run this, I might very well do just that. Also, I saw in DriveThruRPG there's a number of stories, short stories that were written supporting this world. And it seems to me very much that a large part of what pushed this game was a narrative fiction. More so than the idea of we're going to create a role-playing game and keep supporting it and putting out more and more material. I don't know what happened to Mindstorm Labs to cause it to fall apart. It does happen a distressingly common number of times in history. These companies just explode. Either they overspend themselves, there's some chicanery, they fall apart for one reason or another. I don't know, and honestly, they didn't have a lot of signal out there talking about what was going on behind their walls. So, unless you actually worked at Mindstorm Labs, you probably have no idea. I certainly don't. And I'm not digging into their back history at all. But what I wanted to do was to show you this, which these books I got at a half-price bookstore. I thought they were cool. I still think they're cool. The creator of the game? Writer? David Carter? Actually signed it. So this might have been, I don't know if this was a Kickstarter or anything, but this might have been a game that somebody got at a convention or something and had it signed right away, which is cool. The cool factor is through the roof. The thing that I want to talk about, though, is, as far as this stack, it's awfully puny. It's so small. Two books, beautiful books, absolutely gorgeous. The interior art is excellent. The game design is solid. The rule set is interesting, and it's very ambitious. It's high-tech mixed with being able to do things with low-tech and magic and aliens, and it's a lot of really cool stuff in it. But they only were able to make two books in one module. And I very much doubt that when they went starting into this, that's all they had planned. I'm sure they wanted to do more. But this is all there is. This in a module. So what is the lesson to be learned here? What am I trying to talk about? It's simply this. Back when I was talking about vision, I mentioned that it was important for any game developer, game publisher, anything, to have a realistic goal on what their game could be, what they want to do with the game. I know for a fact, absolutely no doubt in my mind, fact, that this company didn't get a chance to get there. It started in 2006. Last anybody heard from them was 2012. So it was a 6-year run, maybe 7, but they put out exactly the two books and the module, and they put out a few other books, like I said, fiction supporting it. But this game, if you start reading it, There, it is very much like standing in a forest and you can feel thunder in the air. There are circumstances that are in motion, that this apocalyptic battle is about to take place on Earth as the battleground. Granted, it's Earth 200 plus years in the future, after the world has been rocked by nuclear devastation and plague, the usual. The usual. But this has got all the hallmarks that it's not just a wasteland story or anything like that, even though there is weird wasteland stuff, sure. This is a story about a world that's poised at the brink of an intergalactic war between multidimensional beings wielding magic who've done this once before. In the age of myth, our legends about angels and demons were spawned off of these creatures, and now the time is right for them to come back. But this time, humans aren't just shepherds and primitives. Now, humans have guns. Humans have some knowledge of magic and are able to fight back. Agents on both sides were left behind to kind of shepherd things and let them know when everything was ready. And some of these descendants are of a position that, no, this war doesn't have to devastate this world again. Let these people know this is coming. And they did. They warned humanity that there is something coming. Now, does all of humanity know about this? No. Humanity is still broken up into various city-states and very fragmented. But that's not important. What's important is they had a vector. They had a direction they planned on going, and they didn't do it. They only got so far. What they left behind was cool. Definitely cool. And one of these days I do really want to rip through this and give it a good... I want to give it a character witness. I want to give it the review. I want to do everything. And I'd like to play it, honestly. I think it's got a lot of meat on its bones as far as what you can do and stories you can tell with it. But you know there were supplements that they had in mind for these alien races that were coming. And maybe understanding the culture of some of the different remnants who were left behind on Earth. Just, these are cool concepts. Very cool. Very imaginative. Very interesting. My imagination was caught after just reading the first 50 pages. But I know there's nowhere to go with it. They didn't finish it. And I might be able to dig through, and I might be able to scour the internet, maybe find some designer notes or anything like that. But it's kind of a work that never got the finish it intends. Now, supplement that to my game. Obviously, my game didn't even get this far. It didn't get as far as a core book yet. I don't have this. But I do have a vector. I do have a direction that I want to go, and these videos and this work that I'm doing is all part and parcel of that. I want to put out my core dice file set. I want to put out my Traveling Hat Club first, actually. I want to get that out for the kids. At pay what you will. I don't care if you get it for a penny. I don't care if you get it for $1. If you want to pay $100 for it, well, that's fine, but you don't need to. I want to put that out as something for, the children, to help bring people into the game and have a nice, safe experience that anybody can enjoy. But I want to put out my Dice File core game. I want to put out Dice File Fantasy, and I want to put out Soul of the City. I want to keep putting out Dice File Sci-Fi, and thank you so much. I think it was Dungeon Acid who suggested Sci, Fi, PHI to keep the theme of PH from Dice File. I liked it. I really did, and I want to borrow that. But I have these things in mind. There is a direction that I want to go. It's not just, haphazard. I definitely have an order that I want things to do. And will it happen? I hope so. I really do, and I really hope that this month I can get a lot of progress done. And before the year is out, at the very least, get the Traveling Hat Club out in some form to people's hands. But that's just the thing. When it's all done, will I have a stack that's even 2 books high? I hope so. I don't know how much time I've got left to me, but nobody does. I will certainly try. And I think that's the important thing. As of right now, my binder full of notes, something happened to me tomorrow. Maybe my son could pick it up and do something with it. I don't know. Is it complete enough that a person could pick it up and play if I just gave them, say, this core thing for Dice File Fantasy? I really would have to be there for that, I'm afraid. It's just not quite ready yet. But the master binder of Dice File the game, could a person pick this up and use it? That I'm not so sure about. It has the core rules, the mechanics, yes. A lot of my own personal notes and thoughts, yes. But we're not there yet. We're just simply not. I have a lot more that I want to add to it, and we want to make it cooler. We want to do all the stuff to it that we have in mind. So, got a vector, but right now my stack, granted, all the stuff that I have for Dice File is about as thick as the Encountered book. I got a lot of different notes and things, but as far as what I can put into somebody's hands right now, it's just Dice File Fantasy, which is good, or my one-page Traveling Hat Club, which I still think is a fun game. My ultimate version of that, I want to have about 20, 25 pages and be thick enough so somebody can pick it up and get some good ideas on how to tell a story, how to stay in character, things like that. All written in a conversational way that I get to talk to you and let you, kind of, without telling you what to do, give you some suggestions, give you some ideas, and just step back and let you tell all the crazy stories you've got running through your head. So that's my idea, what I'm inspired by with Stack. The people behind this game at Mindstorm Labs were creative, they had resources, they had great art, great layout, a solid concept, and a plan. It wasn't enough to carry them forward. Although somebody might be still collecting money from any of these PDFs that are selling. I doubt there are many physical copies left. They probably all went out to distributors. So that's all well and good. Maybe I suspect that David Carter might be the person who's making the money since he's the author. But it's clearly not what they hoped. And ultimately it's a warning. I really respect the quality of the product they put out. I hope to equal it someday. But I'm not going to do too much where I bankrupt myself trying to get my book in a physical published form. I understand that self-publishing is probably my most efficient way and might get my name out to people. And who knows, maybe at some point a publisher might look at my stuff and go, hey, you got a great idea, we want to work with you. That would be awesome. Especially if they have resources like layout people and art. I can take care of most of the editing and the writing myself, but those assets would be awfully handy. And yeah, with a little bit of luck and a bit of determination and grit, we'll get there. Together, perhaps. So, thank you for joining me. I do appreciate you being here for this RPGaDay episode. Please join me again tomorrow. We'll have another topic to talk about, and we'll have some fun together. So, thank you very much. Until next time, I am OmnusI, your favorite website game master. And until next time, farewell.